What is up, guys? It is Tool Guy Y here, and today I'll be walking you through an alternator replacement on a 2015 Toyota Sienna. Please stop, pause, and read the slide thoroughly if you are considering doing this repair on your own car. This slide contains some of the basic tools that you are going to need to fully complete this job. Alright guys, so let's start the repair by taking off the negative terminal of the battery with your 10mm wrench and putting that sucker to the side. Next, we'll remove the engine cover. There's 4 rubber grommets holding it in place, so lift each corner up firmly and put to the side. Remove the 2 10mm bolts holding the air dam down for the air box. There are 2 vacuum hoses that run alongside the air dam that are attached to it in 3 places. Detach them and remove the air dam. Locate and remove 6 push button clips that are located at the top of the grill where the grill meets the upper radiator support. Once those 6 clips are removed, we can remove the grill by pulling towards the front of the car carefully. Once removed, put to the side. Remove all the bolts that are connected and attached to the upper radiator support. Remove 4 10mm bolts holding down the support, 2 12mm bolts holding down both horn assemblies, and 3 10mm bolts holding down the hood latch assembly as well. Remove the last clip connected to the support. That clip is located in the front of the support and holds down the hood latch cable. Remove by squeezing with a pair of pliers and pushing forward. When removing the support, make sure the radiator grommets don't fall off. Using a pair of pliers, push the upper radiator hose clamp forward and remove the upper radiator hose. Remove coolant reservoir by removing 1 10mm bolt, then detaching a hose connected to filler neck, lift up and put to the side. Unplug the connector going to the fans. Once unplugged, there are going to be 3 clips holding that thing in place. Remove the 3 clips and reroute out of your way. Remove the 2 10mm bolts holding down the fan to the radiator. Once removed, make your way to the center of the fan where there will be a clip. Push the clip in and push forward. Remove the last clip at the bottom of the radiator fan located here. Remove that clip with your trim panel tool. Once it's removed, lift carefully and remove the radiator fan, making sure not to break anything. Remove the wire harness in 3 locations by pulling that tab forward and pulling up. By doing this, we can free up some space to pull out the alternator. Unplug the connector going to the alternator, then take your 10mm socket and remove the power cable going to the alternator as well. Next, we'll remove the lower radiator hose to free up some space to get to the alternator bolts and the tensioner pulley. Use a set of pliers to remove the hose clamp and pull off the hose. This pulley right here is the tensioner pulley. It is located above the crank pulley a little to the right. Remove the belt by putting on a 14mm socket on a ratchet and pull up towards you. There are 3 bolts that hold the alternator assembly in place. There will be 1 long bolt at the top and 2 short bolts at the bottom. Because the rear bottom bolt is at the bottom and hard to get, we will be removing the alternator with the bracket instead. Using your 14mm socket, remove the top and bottom alternator bolt that's easiest to get. The bottom bolt will be a little harder to find, but just feel your way around and you'll eventually get there using a 14mm deep socket on a ratchet. In this clip, you could see the bracket that holds the bottom bolt on the alternator to the engine block itself. Remove that bolt holding the bracket to the block with a 12mm socket on a swivel. A little advice for you guys is that I actually did this from the bottom of the car, but later on I realized that you could see the bolt very nicely from the top of the car and it's very easy to get to. Once all the bolts are removed, gently pry the alternator out from the top. Then wiggle it up to free it from the bottom. Carefully pull the alternator up and remove it. It may take a little bit of finesse and turning of the alternator to get that alternator to the correct angle to pull out evenly. Be careful not to break anything or damage the fins of the radiator. Once the alternator is out, remove the bracket and swap it over to the new one with a 12mm socket. For installation, reinstall in reverse order. But don't leave just yet, I have a couple tips for you guys. Like I said before, it's easier to access that bolt for the rear bracket from the top. When installing the rear bolt, put a piece of paper on the socket, then put the bolt in the socket. The piece of paper will actually hold the bolt in place so that it doesn't drop. This allows you to have one hand free to move the alternator around to help align that bracket to the block. When reinstalling the radiator hoses, it's recommended to put new hose clamps. If you guys don't have new hose clamps and decide to reuse the old ones, I do recommend putting back the old hose clamps in the same position as removed. Lastly, remember to bleed your coolant of air. Fill up your coolant and run the car with the AC off, the radiator cap off, and run it till the fans turn on. Congratulations, you now know how to do an alternator on a 2015 Toyota Sienna. If you guys enjoyed this video and found this video informative, please smash that like button and subscribe to my channel for more how-to and tool review videos.